Hello, this is going to be a long video. I am interested in a particular, here we go, this guy's, the Coding Train. The Coding Train is a series of videos teaching JavaScript, and he really does an excellent job. If we look through here, pull this up, he's got, oh darn it, look what I've done. So I told you this was going to be a long video because I'm already screwing up. Anyway, he's got videos that teach beginning kinds of things, and then he's got videos that teach machine learning. So it really goes the whole gamut. If you follow this guy, he's a funny guy and intelligent, you really will learn an awful lot about computing. But there's a bit of a problem with his series. He starts out programming with P5.js. And P5.js is a, let's see, P5.js. P5.js is a way to edit using this P5 editor. So this editor is on a web page. So it's not on your computer. And that's okay, but it has some problems. I think this may be the one that doesn't work very well with high DPI monitors. So I've got a 4K monitor here, and I don't think it works very well. If this is the right thing, I could be a little confused here. In any case, I found that really what I want to do is work in Visual Studio Code and Node.js. And he doesn't really have a setup video for Node.js and VS Studio Code. Not a good one, at least, and not one that I could readily find. And he has hundreds of videos here. So if you want to go looking through all these things for it, be my guest. But I just don't think that it's the best way to do this. So let's get started. Let's take a look here for installing Node.js on Ubuntu 18. Alright, so we start here. This is DigitalOcean. They have servers that you can run on their servers. That's not what we want. We want to do this locally. So let's take a look at this one here. This probably is fine. It's a pretty simple installation. So here it is right here. Now I'm going to hold down my super key and hit the left arrow so that I can stick this on the left side of the screen here. And I'm going to pull up, I'm going to hide this OBS stuff. And I'm going to put this away. I don't want to see this right now. And I'm going to hold this window key down again, or meta key, super key, whatever you want to call it. Hit the right arrow. Oops. And make that take up the other half of the screen. This is called tiling. And it's very helpful. And of course you can move these around so that one side is larger or smaller. And then here, I'm going to hold down the Control and the Shift key and hit the plus key and make these make the font larger here. And Control L will clear the screen for me. And here we go. I'm just going to copy this and paste it. And I don't have to type in my password because I've just done something. It just installed OBS, and so it knows I'm the root user, or I have permission to do this, and it allowed me to do it. So there, I should have Node.js installed now. That was pretty easy. And so now, if I do this, I should get a version back. So good. So this is not a particularly new version of Node.js. Maybe we can upgrade this. Let's see. Sudo apt upgrade and see what happens. I don't think this is going to work, but it might. Let's do this again. That's still the same. It's not a big deal. This is going to be fine for now. Let's check and see if we have npm installed. This is Node's package manager. So no, it's not there. So once again, sudo apt, of course it helps to spell it right, install npm. That should do it. I think if you go onto Node.js's site, there's another way to install it where you get a more recent version, and the more recent version also installs npm automatically. But this is fine for now. This will get us started. There, so we have that in there. So that should be fine. So the only thing that we have to worry about now is p5.js. We don't have p5.js, and that's the package that he works in. So we absolutely need this. And let's see if we can do this with apt. I'm pretty sure we can. No, we have to use npm for this. So you notice here, this says that it's missing npm, so we know it's not here, but maybe it's here. Alright, so here it is. This is exactly what we need. Why is this not copying? Alright, so it's hard to see here. I'm going to do this. This is my high contrast. I'm going to enable this here. That's not helping. I'm trying to show you is that there's a little icon over here that's the copy icon. If we click that, should be able to paste over here. It's just that this web page is not doesn't do very well with the dark theme that I'm using here. Oh, that didn't copy. Well, I can type it in. npm I p5. That's all I have to do, and it should. Alright, so this is telling me that I don't have a home bard package.json. So this really, we really need to have one of those because alright, so I messed up here. So I think I need to say Node.js and start it up. No, that's not it. Control D. Control D gets you out of that. So, as you can tell, I'm not really good at this. I'm still learning. But a lot of people are in the same position as me here. So one of the things that we can do is we can just copy this and paste it up here. I think I have to type in node init. Alright, let's try this. This is what it says, npm install. Alright, I don't think this is right. This doesn't look correct. So, although he's got 46 people saying it's good, and only one saying it's bad. And what site is this? This is GitHub. Alright, so I did node init. This is what we needed. We need npm init. There we go. Do you know what? I'm not going to do it here. I'm going to make a directory. So, make dir, we'll call it code. I like to make my directories capital. Code, cd code. By the way, this is a new installation of Ubuntu. I fairly regularly wipe my system out and put in a new, and then I have to remember how I set things up the last time. So that's why I'm having a little bit of trouble, but I hope it's not too boring for you. I may actually edit some of this. It's something I don't like to do is edit, but I may. So if I cd into code there, and let's make a directory for node here, and cd into node. I'm running something called ZSH and ZSH, which makes my terminal look like this. I'm also running Terminator, but it allows me to do some things like type L and it will list the files, and it gives me some file completion and things like that. So your shell probably looks a little different than this. Don't worry about that. So now that we're in here, let's do this npm init. And so it says I'm going to be creating a project, and it wants some information that it's going to put in a JSON file, so that when I publish this project later, if I publish it, everything will be in here, so that the next person will have all of these things already set. So yeah, let's just call this node. That's fine. And it doesn't like the capital letters, so let's call this, actually I'm going to call it P5. Or we could call it the coding train start. No, I don't like that. I'm just going to call it node. And it's going to be version 1, and the description is this is to run p5.js locally. Index.js can be the entry point, and we don't need this. We don't need this right now. We don't need keywords. And I'm just going to put in Bard here. There we go. License can be MIT. We don't care about this because we're not really making a package right now. We're just playing around a little bit. All right, so now if I do P5 here, now we get a different error, no repository field. But the reason we got this is because when it asked me about a Git repository, I didn't give it one. So this error is okay. We don't have to worry about that. That's not a big deal. So now we should be able to run some sort of a P5 file in here. So if I run this here, it'll give me this background here. Let's see what happens if I run it here. No, not like this. This is not right. Let's delete all this. Let's go node like this. Here we go. Now, if I do this here, what happens? It doesn't like it. Right, the reason it doesn't like it is because we don't have this canvas over here to do the preview. So how are we going to fix that? Well, we're going to install Visual Studio Code, and Visual Studio Code has a plugin that's going to allow us to have this canvas. So install VS Code on Ubuntu 18.04. And let's see what this says. Probably is going to be alright, so this is one way to do it, and I'm not going to do it this way. Do I want to do it this way? You always have to think about when you go to a web page and get instructions, you have to think about, is this the safest way to do it? And so first of all, this is going to get a script here, and it's going to get it from packages.microsoft.com. So it's probably all right. If we're getting everything from Microsoft, I mean, I don't trust them very much, but it's better than some random hacker. So this is one way to do this, but I think that this can be done with snaps. Alright, so here's the yeah, this is the way I've done it in the past. So first of all, we have to make sure that we have snapd installed, and I forget how to get out of this. Control D, I think, is the way to do this. It's not, yeah, Control D always works. I think there's another way to do this, but, or I may be confusing it with Python. Just Control D. You see here I had this prompt. This was the Node.js prompt. And I don't want that. I want this kind of prompt here, which is the shell prompt. And so now I can do a sudo apt-get install snapd. And it says it's already there, right? So that's fine. By the way, it says, look at this here. The following packages were automatically installed and are no longer required. So why don't we get rid of those? Let's do this sudo apt auto remove. Clean the system up a little bit while we're going here. It doesn't hurt to do this. And it gets rid of, it's freeing up 63 megabytes, which is, it's not much, but every once in a while you should run this auto remove command. And here we go. This is the way to do a snap install. This page does not have the little copy thing over here on the right, so you have to do it by hand here. And boom, there we go. So snap installation looks a little different from an apt-get installation or from an npm installation, but anyway, we installed Visual Studio Code, and I think we can start it up just by saying code like this and a dot. We'll start it up right here in this directory. And there it is. And we now have the little Visual Studio Code here in the panel. And I'm going to make this a favorite by right-clicking on it and then clicking on Add to Favorite. This is going to hang around now. I think this is already in favorites. Fine. Good. So here's our Visual Studio Code. And it's seeing our package.json. That's a good thing. Alright, so down here it's saying that we're opted in. If we want to opt out, we've got to do some stuff. I'm not going to do this now. I will do this later. Because I really don't want them collecting a bunch of data if I can avoid it. So at this point, there are a lot of things that can be done here. Over here in this panel, we can bring up the Explorer, which is what we're looking at here. We can search for things. We can use source control. That would be GitHub, for example. We can do debugging, and we can add extensions. And that's what we need to do now. We need to add an extension. And we want to add P5. And there's some couple of things here. And look at this. This is the coding train right here. So this will help us later on to type in some little keywords and then have it expand that keyword into a whole piece of code. So we'll add that now. And this is specific for the P5JS library. So we'll have to learn how to use that later on. But right now, we want to be able to do a live preview. So we're going to install this here. And now, if we go back here, we can add a file here, and we'll call this one first.js. And then within here, we can go and get that code that we had before, which I should be able to find. Where is it? This one. Right, and we should be able to run this, but right now we're not going to, I don't think we're going to see anything because we don't have a canvas. So look down here. Down here it says P5 canvas. Let's click on that, and now we have a canvas. And now if we run this guy over here, it should give us something here. So let's change this to a different color. Let's call this 120. You see how it changed? We could change it to 200. Oh, 2000 there. There we go. And this is RGB, so we can do RGB. So that's all red. And look at this, giving us some information on this. I think this. Oops, there's my phone. So I'm going to stop recording here. No, I'm not, because the phone stopped already. It's probably some stupid notification. How do I get rid of this? There we go. Escape gets rid of that. So essentially, at this point, we are ready to follow along all of these Coding Train videos. So I'm going to go down all the way down here to the bottom, and here's the introduction, and we can start these up and follow along and do everything over here.
Oh, okay.
And we're good. So I hope this helps you. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.